Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about why you should collect the Dungeons & Dragons Orange Spine Easleys. Alright, so what are the Dungeons & Dragons Orange Spine Easleys? The Orange Spine Easleys are specifically a grouping of 12 Dungeons & Dragons advanced Dungeons & Dragons hardcover books. They shared some specific attributes. They were all published between 1983 and 1987. They all had this visually stunning orange spine. Black words on an orange spine. They were very easy to determine what company published them, TSR, what book it represented, what functionality was within the book, and who was the author of the book. It was really simple. It was really unique. When you lay these in a stack, it's just a big orange pile of all the core functionality of Dungeons & Dragons. 12 books, Dungeons & Dragons in a nutshell, beautifully unified by 12 gorgeous Jeff Easley covers, all right? So I am convinced that the Orange Spine Easleys, these 12 AD&D, first 1E, they're all 1E, right? These 1E AD&D 1983 to 1987 Dungeons & Dragons books are the absolute pinnacle of a collection set within Dungeons & Dragons to this day, okay? And the reason why is if you have these 12 books, you have this beautiful, thorough picture of what Gary Gygax's vision for Dungeons & Dragons was and what he had created in the 12 years, 1974 to 1986, when he was with TSR, right? It's one of the Orange Spine Easleys are a totem pole, right? Which is an absolute, which contains the traditions of Gygax. It contains the basic elements of the game. It contains the 1980s excitement for the game. It contains beautiful art, right? It's amazing, right? Like the Orange Spine Easleys are just really, really important in the history of Dungeons & Dragons, and you should collect them, right? And I'm going to give you lots of reasons today on why you should collect them. So first and foremost, the reason you should collect the Orange Spine Easleys is they are the absolute pinnacle representation of Dungeons & Dragons 1E, okay? And, so one of the reasons, of course, is this is the pinnacle of Gary Gygax's work. That's important, right? It's all contained right there. Another reason why is if we collect these, we honor Gary Gygax. Honestly, I know this sounds strange, but I passed Gary Gygax literally just walking in the halls at Gen Con. I think, at Gen Con. It was in 2003. And I just walked past Gary Gygax. And that's as close as I ever got to him. But I owe that man, I thank the Lord I was born in the time that I was. Like, if you had put me in, 1833, I would have never saw Dungeons & Dragons. And if you had put me in 2233, I would have, who knows what other things I would have gotten interested in. So I literally thank the Lord above that I was put in this specific time so that, I was born in 1970, Dungeons & Dragons was born in 1974. We are brothers. Dungeons & Dragons be our brothers, and we have grown up together, right? And I just owe so much to Gary Gygax, and collecting the Orange Spine Easleys to me is an incredible way to honor Gary Gygax, honor his family, honor the game. It's just it honors Gary, and that's important to me. I really feel that I owe this man something, and I want to do what I can to spread the light and the goodness that he put into this world, right? The other issue is these books represent a full sweep of what Dungeons & Dragons truly is. They are a unique collection that show everything that Dungeons & Dragons truly is from top to bottom, right? And it's, within these 12 books, if a person sits down and they go through these books, whether they even just page through them or whether they read them cover to cover, or whether they read them to cover and they wrote scholarly books that go into that plumb the deepest depths of these books, they're going to know what Dungeons & Dragons is. They're going to know what Dungeons & Dragons is about. It's a full suite, right? It's really powerful, okay? The Dungeons & Dragons Orange Spine Easleys. The Orange Spine Easleys are a far more robust representation of what true Dungeons & Dragons is than the 1970, 1977, 1978, 1979 Monster Manual, Player's Handbook, DMG. They came out in that order, okay? The original Dungeons & Dragons hardcover of the Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual, the Player's Handbook, and the DMG, they came out in 77, 78, and 79, right? They're, frankly, I will say it, their covers are terrible. They're just terrible. They're terrible from a whole bunch of perspectives. When you look at Jeff Easley's covers, these beautifully, almost meticulously painted, incredible covers, and then you put them next to the 77, 78, and 79 covers, the 77, 78, and 79 hardcovers look, frankly, amateurish. And in some ways they kind of were, right? A lot of the Art and Arcana has come out, and it is really... Art and Arcana is a huge book. If you haven't gotten it, the Dungeons & Dragons Art and Arcana book, it's totally worth it. It's an incredible reference. By the way, I learned about the Orange Spine Easleys in the Art and Arcana book. I had never really put this together in my head of what a beautiful collection these books really are, how important they are to the history of Dungeons & Dragons. The Art and Arcana book has a picture of these books just laid spine to spine, and it struck me like a lightning bolt. Like, I had never really seen, of course I had seen these books before, but I'd never seen them just stacked, one after the other, all 12 there, right? And they really are amazing. And I'm not sure they've really been matched at any point in any edition since, as far as giving a full sweep of Dungeons & Dragons in hardcover format, okay? Now, here's the key, right? Clearly, the Orange Spine Easleys are a much better representation of Dungeons & Dragons than the MM, the PHB, and the DMG from the late 70s, right? The covers alone are they're not even comparable, right? It's just so much better, right? In addition to that, right, the Orange Spine Easleys is a much better representation of Dungeons & Dragons than the collection of box sets that had come out to that point, or the collection of box sets that really exist today, right? Now, I am a proponent, and I am working on a collection right now of every Dungeons & Dragons basic rules box set, right, from every edition. Very difficult to get. I have not completed that collection. But the reality is, even when that's done, I don't think that would be as good a collection set of Dungeons & Dragons content as the Orange Spine Easleys. I really believe the Orange Spine Easleys are the ultimate Dungeons & Dragons collectibles, right? Better than anything you can get, right? Now, there absolutely are collectibles that you could get that are worth more dollar-wise, but that's just for the schmucks. That's for, the people that care about money, right? And I am not talking about money here. I'm talking about love of the game, right? Love of the books, love of print, right? Love of tabletop role-playing games, love of Gary Gygax and what he created for us, love of narrative, love of system mastery. All that is contained best in the Orange Spine Easleys. They're really, really amazing, okay? All right, so basically the Orange Spine Easleys are a better, more robust representation of Dungeons & Dragons than the late 70s 1E hardcovers, and better than the box sets, okay? What's another reason why you should really consider collecting the Orange Spine Easleys? They're affordable. They're highly affordable, right? This is a collection that you can go out and you can get right now, okay? At maximum, the books will cost you $100 in very good condition. That is the maximum you will pay for any of these books, right? But some of these books can be snagged for as low as $20, right? And if you as low as $20, just $20, right? So you could complete this collection quite easily for as low as $400, right? And you don't have to put that all out at once, right? You can do this over months, right? But I will tell you this, I would get them within the next 12 months for a reason that we're going to talk about in a minute. All right, but the Orange Spine Easleys, especially when it comes to collectibles, right, these are really good collectibles because they're very affordable. And I would highly recommend that you do some shopping. You see if you can get them off the shelves of local game shops. I have a local game shop that has some of these on the shelf right now, and they might be in your area. Don't be a schmuck and just order them right off the internet. That's lame. See if anybody you know has any that you can purchase, right? See if you can find these at garage sales, right? Go to book swaps, those kind of things. And one of the reasons why I said this is one of the most enjoyable experiences I've ever had in my life connected to books is I am a huge comic book fan, and I did a special collection of the Alien Legion comic books. And I went to every comic book shop within 75 miles of myself, and I collected there's about 60 of those comic books, and I have a copy of every single issue, right? And it took me months to complete that collection, and I got each one in my physical hand and purchased them from a different story. And when I pull out one of those issues, I can tell you where I bought it. I can tell you the 45-minute conversation I had with the person there. And you can make collection of the Orange Spine Easleys an adventure quest all to itself, all right? And I think it's really worth seeing who has these books and seeing, and maybe even buying them cash on the barrel, it's an opportunity, and we still have it, right? All right, so basically they're quite affordable. All right, here's another reason you should get these. If you complete the Orange Spine Easleys collection, and then the D20 that's rolled for the Dungeons & Dragons movie comes up a natural 20, and that thing rockets through the roof, right, and is successful and makes $1 billion or $2 billion or $3 billion, which is absolutely a possibility, guess what? Your Orange Spine Easleys, they could double or triple in value, right? That is a very real thing. The comic book movies have driven a really robust market in very old original comics for Marvel, right? And I'll tell you right now, after 23 movies, it is a lot harder to get your hands on a Captain America #1 than it was before Avengers Endgame became the #1 movie in history. And by the way, Dungeons & Dragons absolutely has the possibility to do that. Dungeons & Dragons movie could be the #1 movie in history, right? And if that happens, and you're sitting on a pristine stack of Orange Spine Easleys, you're going to be sitting pretty, right? Or there's a possibility of it. Just like any investment, right? The reality is, I'm going to get my Orange Spine Easleys. I'm starting my collection already. And the reality is, I really don't care if they go up in value because I don't have any intention of selling them, right? I'm just going to rub them on my face, right? But the reality is, there's a possibility, like any investment, it should go up. But just like any other investment, just realize you could lose your shirt. So only invest if you have that extra cheddar, right? You should not be spending your college money, your college tuition money for this, right? So just a gentle warning there, right? Why else should we collect the Orange Spine Easleys? To preserve them, all right? This is important. So one of the things is the Orange Spine Easleys are not really seen. The Orange Spine Easleys is my term. I've never heard this used by anyone else, right? And I really, I have seen the Orange Spine books. I've seen them many times, right? But never once in my life have I seen an Orange Spine Easy collection. I've never seen anybody who owned every single one of them, right? And had them in one distinct container, or stacked them together, or grouped them together, or displayed them together, right? And so right now, the Orange Spine Easleys are out there, right? They're out there in the world, and they're spread across, right? And they're just kind of one-offed and single-tinned, and one of your friends has an Oriental Adventure, and one of your friends has a Dragonlance Adventures, and one of your friends has a Monster Manual too. And the reality is, it's sad, right? These books need to be gathered and united and carefully placed next to their brother and sister books, right? They are siblings. They're biblio siblings, and they should be very carefully collected, and then they should be put together And then when you have a chance, you can sit down on your couch and you can put on your latex gloves and you can carefully page through them. That's it, right? These books should never see play, right? Just use the PDFs, right? But the reality is, I really think at this point, Dungeons & Dragons as an element of Americana is definitely a thing. And these things need to be treasured. They need to be collected and preserved together in sets, right? These cannot exist out there anymore as singletons. Additionally, we should have a Dungeons & Dragons museum, right? But it doesn't exist. There is no Dungeons & Dragons museum, right? So we have to make it. We, as the fans of Dungeons & Dragons, each one of us should own an Orange Spine Easleys collection. And then what we can do is we can carefully, right, bring people into our homes and give them the Dungeons & Dragons mini tour, right? And say, hey, this is my Orange Spine Easleys collection. Sit down, show them, hey, this is the Dungeon Master Guide. Look at this beautiful orange spine. Tell them what it is. This is the Player's Handbook. This is the Monster Manual. This is the Monster Manual 2. This is the Oriental Adventures book, right? This is Unearthed Arcana. It has all kinds of weird rules in it, right? This is the Dragonlance book. This is the Greyhawk Adventure book, right? This is the Manual of the Plains. This is the Legends and the Lores book. This is the Dungeon Survival Guide book. And this is the Wilderness book, right? And you can just give as little as one sentence for each, and it's just 15 minutes before you, go into the other room for dinner, right? Or you can talk for 15 minutes on each one. And, invite one of your friends over for an entire evening of Dungeons & Dragons mini museum, and this is the thing, right? And the thing is, these are from the 80s. They're still here. They're still gettable. They're still affordable, right? But each one of these are the artifacts in our world. These are the treasures that are still here for us to get, right? I am questing now to complete my Orange Spine Easleys collection. You should do the same. What do you think? Let me know if you have any of these. I'd love to know what's in your collection now. Are you going to complete your collection? I'd love to know in the comments below. Please let me know. Also, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.